It's not often that I feel a bit nervous talking in public, but this is one such occasion. I've gone through each and every detail, even from a structuring perspective. Why me?
There is only one human being in this entire world who can ask this question: why Virat Kohli?
So I've been way more involved, I'd say, involved with everything.
It's a chat between him and me. It's a typical Sunday of mine.
Try the same color that you have on the heel patch. Try it on the stitching also. The foreign players are wearing our spikes as well without asking anyone to do so. I think they'll make me the proudest if no one gives two hoots about who we are.
If there was an 18-year-old Virat, what will be the thing that he would be very surprised with?
Hello everyone, firstly. It's not often that I feel a bit nervous talking in public, but this is one such occasion. But yeah, it's lovely to be here finally, and very proud day for not just the two of us, but everyone involved in 1-8. And thank you so much for all of you for showing the support, as Abhishek mentioned already, and hopefully grow on into bigger things from here. So.
All right, so I will have a very short chat with you before we get others in. First question that a lot of people ask: why Agilitas?
Well, one thing that helped was I knew you from before, so I wouldn't just jump into something unknown. So Abhishek, I of course met him during our Puma days. He met me to sign me on with Puma. Also a discussion that was quite different for that time, because there were understandably 2-3 other offers on the table from supposedly bigger brands at the time. You know, what he wanted to build in terms of the brand that he was heading resonated with me quite a lot. So I decided to get on to 8 years journey or something. So we signed a deal for 8 years and got to know him quite well through that period of time, and also his openness to kind of accommodate everything that I was asking for, even to eventually build, something which was personalized, I would say, not from scratch, but a bit more personalized. This is quite different. So yeah, of course, the trust factor runs in from that time. And then just the opportunity to realize a dream of mine in terms of building a sports brand while I was still playing was something that I always thought of. I did not want to leave it too late, too far at the end of my career, and I was just waiting for the right opportunity. And then you brought up this idea that you were wanting to start something new, and when you explained to me the ecosystem behind the vision, the dream, and just the opportunity, as I said, to create everything from scratch, and it's literally a representation of what we want, that people are going to be able to experience firsthand. Everything just aligned for me in the right way to say, okay, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to do, and of course exactly what you had in mind as well. And as they say, there's a right time for everything in life to take place, and I think all these factors were the reasons why I said, let's go ahead and do this. I have a question for you. Why me?
I can tell you one thing, that there is only one human being in this entire world who can ask this question: why Virat Kohli? I don't think anybody else can ask that question. But I think having you as a co-founder, keeping the base as that of athlete mindset, where you are, it's easy to be consumed with the feeling that, it's my brand. But I see that from the beginning you said this is far beyond me. And I think today you were sharing with everyone else on the backstage that, when the logo the brand becomes beyond you, is when the real success of the brand. Now that kind of understanding, and then from the beginning you said that it's about other athletes, it's about other sport. When we are getting into badminton, hey, we are into badminton now. So, I cannot think of, it's not because of your popularity, but I think it is about your deep rooted mindset to build something which is far, far more impactful and long term and sustainable. I think that this is a privilege to have you. So while this happens, and we've been saying you're the co-founder, and sometimes co-founder can be a title, but why don't you tell everyone what your role in 18 is?
It's easy for me to explain because I've been involved in literally everything from day one. And this is the only time in my whole journey of signing deals and doing associations that I've gone through each and every detail, even from a structuring perspective, which I never intended to become a part of. But then, just the detail of everything from day one, how we wanted to structure everything in terms of our partnership. And then, of course, the clarity of what we want to present to the consumer and what my involvement is from that perspective, the technology, the details of materials, the designing. I've never put in so much effort behind any of my associations in the past, and understandably so, because as I said, this is not just any other deal. This is a vision that I feel very strongly and dearly about, and as you rightly mentioned, it has to outlast all of us, all of our identities, more importantly, and become a part of people's lifestyle. That's the aspiration, and for that you need honest effort. For that you need the right intent, because it cannot be just putting a product on the shelf and expecting people to just buy it. The investment you provide into making every product is felt by the consumer. That's how you create the recall of any business, I guess. So I've been way more involved, I'd say, involved with everything, most of the times unwillingly, because you do take a lot of my time for meetings. Something that I'm not used to. As soon as I get a Zoom link from you, I start panicking. I'm like, he says 30 minutes and it's going to be 1 hour 45 minutes, which I probably mute 40 minutes off because I just can't be bothered. They're talking among themselves. So I'm like, just give me the compressed package at the end. I can't be bothered with so much detail. But in terms of my involvement, my intention, I've been very, very happy to provide my inputs. Anything that I like, as you know, I send it across to you guys. Anything that I think of, putting myself in the consumer's show and think, what would I want to wear? That's been the effort to eventually get to this point. So yeah, it's been way more than just being associated in terms of just a deal.
Yeah. And if I take his time, and honestly we do, there are times when it's the other way around also. And I have something to show if it can be played. It's been stitched together. It's a chat between him and me. It's a typical Sunday of mine. And just see if we can play that.
Hi Abhishek. This show is so good. What we also can do is try the same color that you have on the heel patch. Try it on the stitching also. Because stitching mein itna hectic nahi lagega, because it's all stitched with gaps in between, right? So that will be really cool to add, and it'll be a nice feature. So just make a render of that and show me now how it'll look, and then I'll tell you.
So this was done. This was designed in 3.5 hours on a Sunday. I didn't have to do the Zoom call, but he designed a shoe, and that's the agility that the team also showed. And he's obsessed. He's obsessed with products.
But because Abhishek said, people kept asking, when are you launching? I take a lot of responsibility for it, because when they tell me we're launching this or we're finalizing this in 48 hours, 6 hours before that, I'll send them another version. So it can't go on the floor just yet. But yeah, now we are happy. We're all happy.
Today, when you did the walkthrough, what was your feeling like? Because you've always seen them in...
There's a lot of enigma and mystery attached to Abhishek, as you all would know in the business world already. I was told there is certain amount of products in colorways available and ready, and then he's very keen on doing the walkthrough. And then when I'm walking through, I'm behaving like a fan because I've not seen these products myself. And that's what happened today, but it was phenomenal. So well done again, you and the team, on a great job for making this happen.
So just like all the entrepreneurs here would relate to that there are always some people who would say, why are you doing this? In our own journeys, why is a very, very frequent question. There are naysayers and they have their role to play. But when you wanted to do this as 1-8 Agilitas, were there naysayers and what did they say?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say naysayers, but of course people ask questions out of curiosity, like Mr. Bansal just asked backstage about what about this brand and that brand, and how do you position yourselves, or how do you see yourselves compared to, I wouldn't say competitive brands, but in the same space, because quite literally we haven't thought of competition when we wanted to do it, and that's why we're probably doing it at a slower pace than anyone else. But yeah, just general questions about quality of material, technology, design. How do you see yourselves when you think of being global? Where do you envision yourself? So those are the kind of questions that get asked quite often. And to be honest, like, our response has been very consistent in terms of the team that we have. The people working behind the scenes have worked really hard on all the products. And at the end of the conversation, I always tell people, you have to wear it to believe it. And that's what's happening with the cricket shoe as well. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of the foreign players are wearing our spikes as well without asking anyone to do so. They've asked for the shoes themselves and they're phenomenally happy with them. So I haven't texted anyone, to be fair, and being brutally honest, to wear my shoe, but they've all asked for it and they're all wearing it and they love it. So that's the kind of trust you want to build, and eventually you can only explain till a point and then encourage them to use the product, and then the product should speak for itself.
So 1-8 Global Premier wanted to stick to only our topic, but most of the people are seeing you, hearing you for the first time. I wanted to take a non-agenda question. Most people know what you are, and because it's very clear, very obvious. So there is not much that one can ask now. But if there was like, today you think of this, this is a brand that you thought, you imagined, you had the vision. Somewhere we all came along the way, we built this and this is going live. You're saying this will go live to 50 countries day one. And if there was an 18-year-old Virat walking in and seeing you in this state, not just about this brand, but how you are today, what will be the thing that he would be very surprised with?
Probably wouldn't imagine himself to be this calm, I guess, now. He'd probably expect it to be a bit more boisterous and rowdy still. So yeah, things have turned out in a good way. But when I look at what we are doing here, I'd say I'd have a sense of pride and this feeling that I can walk into any room with my head held high and not be hesitant about who I am or what I'm trying to do, and just follow my vision, follow my heart, and have the conviction to keep doing so at this stage of my life as well. So I think those are the things that I'd probably say I'd be most proud of, that something like this could come to life eventually and not just an idea in my head. So yeah, I'd be very happy with that. Can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure.
Equating to cricket. So in cricket, when we find success or we're looking for success, you're basically looking to try to win the game. And there's a cliche in cricket: if you want to know where the game's going, look at the scoreboard. It'll tell you where you stand. So that's the way to measure your situation, your position in the game, and where you want to get to and eventually achieve that success. From a brand perspective or a business perspective, how would you define success, or what are the markers that you would define success with?
Look, the obvious thing that people building businesses would say: efficient use of capital, great revenue, and great margins, right? That's very obvious. You are in business for that. We have partners who have financial metrics. We all have financial goals. But I think when you're building a sportswear brand and coming from a stage where you're not expected to build one, The biggest proof of the pudding is in whichever sport you get to, the athletes use the product. When we get to badminton or when we get to squash, people don't have to tape the shoes because they're sponsored by us. I think we have won it. And when they choose it over other brands, other foreign brands who've been around for a long time, I think for me, I think that's the core fundamental success metric of the brand. The last question from my side, the moment has come. It's huge. 20 years down the line, what would make you proud of what we both and the Agilitas team and all of us are building together at 1/8?
I think they'll make me the proudest if no one gives two hoots about who we are and who started this, honestly. As I said, the brand should outgrow all of us, and if we are able to do that in 20 years' time, I think I'd love to be forgotten completely and for this to take over and not even remember who started it. That's where we want to get to.